girls. My name is Franca. I'm your host. This is Francamente, the podcast. I'm so excited to be here with you. Thank you so much for listening. And without further ado, let's bias your football content. Hello. Welcome to episode 12. Does it feel like this is going so quickly? They're coming like more and more often. I can't believe it. I'm so excited. We're really in the in the swing of things now. I'm so excited about my kit today. If you're not watching on YouTube, like look up my selfies on my socials, okay? This kit is a relic. It's not that old. It's only like a couple years old, but although definitely pre-COVID, I don't even remember because what is time anymore? But this is Happy Pride Month, by the way, y'all. Happy Pride Month to all my queer folks, LGBTQIA+. We're all welcome. Football is for all, right? Football is for everyone. This is a Pride kit. Okay, this is a Pride kit, Diversidad, it's called in Uruguay, for one of the best teams in Uruguay aside from rivalries and like obviously like Peñarol is like the team, right? But like Villa Española is the name of this team. What's going on with my hair here? Villa Española is a team that has played in the first division a couple times, but usually they don't, and currently they're not. And they are amazing. They're always on the right side of history with doing work with the organizations that do work with the disappeared folks, which we talked about in the last episode. With doing this, they were like the first to do a Pride kit in Uruguay, and I don't even know that many have followed suit. I love this kit. It's literally brought from Uruguay. Like you can't get this in the mail. Like I have special contacts. Shouts to my kit plugs, okay? And it traveled on a plane all the way from Montevideo, and it just is they this little patch is Cultura de Barrio, right? Cultura de Barrio. They're like a team of the people. This is the town that my dad grew up in. And so it's really, really cool to have this kit, and I love it. And it's Pride Month, and I'm so excited that I have this. I mean, it's so special. It's like it's one of a kind. Like you just can't get these kits. And I'm so happy every time I wear it. It just fills me with glee and connection. And like I've been thinking a lot about, ancestors and just like the power of these phenomena like football to like connect us to each other. It's just like the universe is vast and the universe knows what it's doing. The universe is incredible. And I've just been so blessed. And I don't know, I had to go a little woo-woo, okay, for this one. So yeah, like check out my kit. If you haven't seen it, if you're listening on one of the audio platforms only, check it out because it's sick. It's so nice. So yeah. So what are we doing today? What are we doing? I don't know. We're gonna see what comes out. We're gonna see what comes out for this episode. There's a couple things I want to touch upon. Because a lot of stuff has been happening, right? And because I'm wearing a kit from Uruguay, we can start with the U20 World Cup, right? The under 20 World Cup. It's being currently played in Argentina, but Argentina got out pretty early on. But who's still in it? Who just got into the semifinals? Uruguay did. And who did they beat to get into the semifinals? The fucking evil empire that is the United States. They beat the US to get into the semifinals, and the jokes on left football Twitter just were chef's kiss. They were so good because imagine a little, okay, it's the U20 World Cup. A lot of people are like, oh, what does that matter and everything like that. Of course it fucking matters. Where do you think your stars come from? Do you think that Messi just hatched out of a cabbage like as a full grown player? Like, no. Okay, that's a translated expression from Spanish. I didn't just pull that out of my butt. He did not. He went up through the ranks. You play, right? Like for your country at all levels. And that includes U20. Yes, that sounds very young. They're teenagers. They're kids. But there's already so much promise because the reality is that players are being sold earlier and earlier on, right? And signing to teams earlier and earlier on. So it's cool, that the U20 World Cup has, the audience that it has. And the fact that Uruguay, by the way, is the last of the South American countries left in the tournament. They're going to the semifinal. They beat the fucking empire that is the US. That win, that's an example of a win that is not just a win for football, right? These are these little moments. I've talked about this before with other little moments that appear that Galliano would just eat up because it's delicious, because it's like poetic justice, right? When you look at the resources that United Station players have, when you look at the resources hoarded by the US Soccer Federation, by the US in general, by the US empire, right? And you look at the resources that countries in the global south have, which one's right? I don't know. It does not make sense. It doesn't make logical sense. This is why I always say that's why you play games. Football is not logic. Sports are not logic. If it were logic, we wouldn't play games, right? We would look at a piece of paper and go, well, that team's better. They have this, and this, and this. Give them the points. But that's not how sports work, right? That's not how sports work. So we have got this like almost Cinderella story of this tiny, tiny country, 3 million people, with a very heavy football history, right? Because they hosted and won the first World Cup. Like there's lots of kind of like studies done on what is in the genetics of Uruguayans that consistently keeps them on top, right? Because it's such a tiny country. And then you've got this tiny country playing against the evil empire and winning, like to go on to the semifinals. It's so exciting. I'm so excited for those kids, and like they're so happy and so wholesome, and it brings such joy. One of the things I've been talking about for a while, for a few episodes, or like maybe since the beginning, is about how hypocritical it is to continue to support this, when we're criticizing it for being modern football and like being ruined by capitalism and money. And that's all true. And I also think it's important to note that we live in a capitalist hellhole, that we live in a dumpster fire of a country, of a world. Okay, but every day things happen that are so disheartening. The Stop Cop City thing just happened. As of time of recording, the activists spent hours and hours and hours and hours until 1 a.m. just trying, like expressing their, not wanting. What are I'm gonna go off on a tangent because today's also election day in New Jersey, and I don't know, what are politicians for if not to serve the people? If you look at the definition from when the word democracy first existed, right, in ancient Greek or Roman times, I don't know which ones. I don't know which one. It was ancient, and it's one of those two. Okay, democracy, like literally, it meant servant of the people. This is actually connected. Stay with me, all right? Bear with me. A long time ago, like at least 10 years ago or more, an article came out. I think it was either in The Economist or in one of those like fascist publications that's US based, one of those imperialist publications, which was shocking that this is what they wrote about because it's imperialist. And they were writing about Pepe Mujica, whom I have a little doll of behind me always on my bookshelf right there. If you're watching on YouTube, that's Pepe Mujica. He's the former president of Uruguay. He's currently still in government. When he was president, he was like celebrated the world over for being, he was called the poorest president in the world, and not as an insult. That was what he was titled because he refused to take 90% of the salary. He refused to get paid for being president. He did not move to the presidential residency. He thought that was a waste, so he stayed living on like his farm outside of Montevideo with his three-legged dog, and like all his, you know, his lifestyle. So like he got worldwide attention for the way he ran his presidency. Now he was persecuted during the dictatorship. There's movies about it. Okay, he is so far left that in the but so this is the interesting part. He's so far left, and he's not demonized for it as a socialist or as a communist like a lot of other far left Latin American leaders are. And that is because of the way, that's because of all of this, right? Like the poorest president in the world. He's humble. He refused to wear suits. Now, yeah, some people would be like, oh, he's a communist, he's this, he's that. But so many people admired him, even on both sides, on all sides, even fascists, for being like an authentic to his values person, right? And so they still would praise him and be like, damn, like, okay, like, that's like, power to you, right, for living your values and like that authenticity. And so the I think it was The Economist or one of those wrote an article that was like that was about him, but it was also about how Uruguay has what is considered the closest thing to democracy as it originally existed, which was you would live in a town, right? In a community. And this is literally in ancient times, right? And every single person in the town had a job that they did, whether it was like the medic or like somebody practiced law or somebody was the educator, right? Whatever. And then every single year for a year, they all had to serve as president or governor or some sort of head of government for free, as a service to their community. That was the origins of democracy, right? And so in Uruguay, where you have so many hard fought for wins in terms of like how democracy vote, like it's the closest to democracy because it's literally one vote per person. There's no bullshit. There's no, obviously no electoral college, nothing like that. It's just a person votes and their vote counts. Like that's it, right? And there is not as much, at least let's say on the left, because obviously fascists are going to fash everywhere, but there's not as many career politicians. Another former president, Tabaré Vázquez, he was a literal medical doctor who was practicing in between his terms, okay, in government. So they praised Uruguay for, like, even on the right, for having this democracy that is the closest thing to what democracy should look like. Democracy should look like, right? All of this to say, I don't even know why I went off on this tangent, but my point is, with all of this, that there are these moments, right, when you live in these countries that are small, that are, playing these like big empires. It's okay to be happy. It's okay to celebrate those wins, right? And this is where that like kind of humility comes out, right? That humility of, even when it comes to the presidential candidates, right? When it comes to like the way things happen in Uruguay, like it all is as close to as we can get to social justice, to equality. And so celebrating Uruguay beating the US is not just about football, right? Is not just about football. Through football, you can tell all of these stories, right, that are so related to the Villa Española thing, to all of the work they do with all the social justice stuff, to the Uruguay winning this U20 game. And furthermore, I think it's hilarious because next, so they had to play the evil empire, and then next they have to play the Zionist settler occupier empire country of Israel, right? And so you can imagine leftist Twitter, and like, first of all, leftist Twitter celebrating the US losing to Uruguay was already like It was crazy. I'm going to try to describe a meme. I don't know like how this will work, how this will translate, but find it because I shared it everywhere because it was so fucking funny. People were So first of all, can we talk about the fact that the official FIFA account, like the FIFA World Cup account, the official FIFA World Cup account tweeted for Uruguay's win a phrase which is it's Sabelo Nieri. Nieri is short for compañero, which is it's such like deep. It's a deep cut Uruguayan slang term that in my life I never would have imagined would be tweeted by it was like seeing that was the most surreal moment. Like imagine the most like just country or like area specific slang term. I can't even think of something that would compare like being tweeted by the official FIFA. It's one of those moments where you're like, oh my God, like what, like you leave your body, right? Crazy. Also people were tweeting things like someone tweeted, let me see, it says, ganó el fútbol y pereció el soccer, como debe ser Uruguay no más, right? Like football won and soccer lost. Like I love those moments where it turns into, because that's what it shows, is that football is everything. Right? Football is everything. And that's what we're doing here at Real Francamente. Like, what else are we doing here if not making these connections? So it's such a beautiful moment when that happened. So, okay, so the meme is, it says Uruguay hoy and Uruguay el jueves. And like that's Uruguay today, Uruguay on Thursday. Uruguay today was the day that Uruguay beat the US, and Thursday's the day they have to play Israel. They posted 2 pictures of Chavez. So Uruguay today, after beating the US, it's Comandante Chavez saying in 72 hours, the US, what's the person that works at the embassy? Like what's the person? The
ambassador.
Yes, the voice in the sky appears. The ambassador, I'm trying to translate on the spot. The ambassador of the US must leave Venezuela in 72 hours. Chavez kicking out. That's one of my favorite moments in history, by the way. Like, always support ambassadors from the US getting kicked out. And it's like this like funny picture from that. And then Uruguay on Thursday. Chavez strongly condemns the state of Israel. Like, connection with these like geopolitical moments, what it means for the left, for the true left, like what it means, like it's just so beautiful. It's like, it's gorgeous. I just love when things like this happen and like we can all come together to bash the evil empire that is the US. It's just so good. It's just so good. Look that up. Look it up on my Twitter. I shared it. And it's so good. It's so good. Like, I'm so happy. I don't know what's going to happen Thursday. Like, I have to believe divine, intervention will not want the second evil empire of Israel to win. But I don't know. But the fact that these kids, like have made it as far as they did is already so impressive. It's a promising future. By the way, Bielsa must be just itching to like call these players up. He's probably watching, our uncle Bielsa watching this World Cup, like just with, a million eyes, because he loves a young player. We love Bielsa ball, and I just can't wait to see what he does with all of this talent in the next few years. Because I mean, some of them like are ready, right? Some of them are ready to at least start training with the big boys. So we'll see what happens. On that note, we'll go to break and then we'll come back, talk about more stuff.
Hey, make sure to follow and subscribe to the podcast on your favorite platform so you never miss an episode. And help us out by leaving a rating and review, and remember to share it with a friend. Don't forget to follow Franca on Twitter and Instagram at Real Francamente for the latest news. And lastly, please visit realfrancamente.com for bonus content, including articles, photos, and for more information about the podcast.
are back. We are back. Still reeling from that riveting analysis of the U20 World Cup. And just if we, the world, I have to mention this too, because I literally watched it 70 million times and like, I just love it so much. And it's just, related because the World Cup is being played in Argentina. Another thing that I saw on the webs was this amazing video. And one thing I love is when something is my culture or something that I grew up with or something that I, that to me is so normal. And then like people in the world get a hold of it and they just like go bananas. Like I love that so much. And someone, an English speaker, found or was watching like the Argentine second division. And in this game, I don't know what happened. Again, find my Twitter. I retweeted this. And the tweet says it has a video and it says a second division game in Argentina taking place in the middle of an active war zone. Okay. The video, you can't believe it. Like you can't believe it, especially if if this isn't the norm to you. Like sometimes I go all like Molotov cocktail on a bitch, right? Or in a situation like I'm ready. Like I'm ready to burn this shit down. Like when do we where are the knives? Okay, where are the knives? Let's go. Like what are we waiting for? And sometimes I'm like, I guess like other like people are like might find that a little much or like too radical, but I'm like, why? What's the holdup here, right? Like, let's burn this shit to the ground. And so this is why. It's because I'm from a place where you will go to a second division game and the amount of fucking pyrotechnics that are going off is unhinged. Okay, you can tell that there was a point in which one went off and everyone else in the stadium must have had them because they all started to go off like rapid fire. I don't even know how anyone could even see anything on the field. It was absolute chaos and madness, and I fucking love it. And to me, that is football. And that's why I can't stand this sanitized fucking bullshit that the MLS keeps trying to like, pull. Like one of the first things that really pissed me off. Well, it's not one of the first things because many things piss me off about the MLS. But one of the things that really pissed me off was when there used to be this chant, right, which just said "You suck, asshole." That's it. That was the chant that a lot of MLS teams would do when the goalie was about to do like a kick, right, like a long kick. And the league and teams started to offer supporters groups money to not do it, to bribe people to not do it because it doesn't sound nice on TV to curse. Bro, imagine being from a country, okay, like where that shit happens, where it's every man for himself at that point. This is a stadium is not a safe space. And I'm not sorry about it. And it shouldn't be. And I'm not talking about safe space like in terms of diversity. Like that, sure. Of course. But like, don't bring your fucking baby if you're scared that they're going to get their like fucking like ears blown out by drums. I don't fucking know what to tell you. By the way, in Argentina, babies start climbing the fences very, very young. So there's also evidence to show that it's okay to bring your fucking baby to a war zone stadium. But like, I can't stand that sanitized, like just vision of like what football should be. Like football is grimy. It's dirty. It's a stadium. Like there's like shit that, like this is again, that old school kind of like essence that Galliano would love to have this discussion too, where like You're literally in a stadium. Like, get the fuck over it. Cursing is going to be the least of your worries, okay? Someone in that thread with that video with all the pew, 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 said that one time they went to a game in Argentina. And I just love when like gringos, like when white people, or like just people from outside of Argentina and Uruguay, like go to games in Argentina and Uruguay and then like they try to analyze what the fuck just happened because you can't. Because you'll go to games, and if it's like smaller teams, or like obviously if it's like Boca and River, there's a whole other level to this. But like any team, like the visiting bus will have bullet holes in it. Just like everyone know, you don't bring valuable. Like that's just how it is. Some people may find that wrong. I think it's beautiful. Okay, I think it's beautiful. That is what football is, and like we need to stop with this sanitized fucking bullshit. Someone tweeted in that thread, they were like, one time I went to a game, I forget where, like some small team in Argentina, and they were like, and everyone was being like so loud and like so much pyrotechnics. I thought I had accidentally wandered into the supporter section, but I realized that that's just the whole no supporter section. Like everyone is the fucking barra, right? Like get it together, man. Get it together. I think it should be mandatory for every single person that pretends to like football in this country to go to a game in Argentina. The lower the division, the better. Like, I think we should make this like a guided trip situation. Okay. Like, let's get this fucking travel company up and going and start to bring people to where football was born, because it is too much. But like when that stuff happens, it's so fucking hilarious. On that note, something else I wanted to touch upon that I didn't get to, and I don't remember if it's because it had happened yet by the time the last time I recorded, or I don't remember what. But all of this is it encompasses the beauty of my team since birth. I am 2 weeks old. Okay. My new Premier League team since birth, Luton Town. Because what more of an example of this essence of like hardcore fucking like street ball, like football for the people than a stadium that you have to walk through people's gardens to get into, being a Premier League club stadium. Like I ate it up. It's so Galliano. It's so Galliano-esque. Now, let me preface this by saying that I'm very well aware of what's going to happen, which is that they're going to have to get the stadium up to, like standard or whatever. But like the essence of Luton Town will forever be, and I was always root for them. This also happened to me when there was another team. When Brentford went up, for some reason, there was like a little like, oh my God, like this is so awesome, right? Like I love an underdog. And I know how that sounds because my teams since birth are like the bigger teams, but I just love an underdog story. And the Luton Town thing, the fact that they have to walk through people, like I'm just imagining like Manchester United players and fans like walking through fucking people's gardens to get in. Like it's just it's beautiful. That is where you find these little pockets of the beauty of this old school like essence of pure football. Like that's football right there, right? I made a joke that approximately one person got, but I think it's funny. If you guys like comedy, you should watch British panel shows because they're really hilarious. Through watching British panel shows, I found one of my favorite personalities in the world, and his name is Bob Mortimer. He's hilarious. Okay. He is just so funny. He's like, his type of humor is like, I don't know why, like I find it so hilarious. And one time he told a story. There's a show called Would I Lie to You that's on in England. And they tell stories, and the other team has to guess whether it's a truth or a lie. Now, Bob Mortimer is really good at it because his life is fucking insane. The shit this man has done is just fucking unhinged, right? So the other team never knows what to do with his stories. But one of his stories was that he used to play this game called Theft and Shrubbery when he was a child, right, with his friends. And they would go around to people's gardens, and the game was that they had to start in a whisper and like take turns saying the following sentence louder and louder and louder every time until they got heard, and then they got chased out of the garden and they'd go to the next garden. That's what they used to play. Like, this man's old, so like imagine this was before there was any other entertainment. They had to entertain themselves in these wholesome real life fucking ways. Okay, so they would go around and be like, we do beg your pardon, but we are in your garden. We do beg your pardon, but we are in your garden. We do beg your pardon. And they had to like go loud, 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 loud until they got chased away, right? And that juxtaposition of British comedy with Luton Town having this garden situation, I was like, Luton Town needs to have a TIFO next year that says, we do beg your pardon, but we are in your garden. Or although I think it might be more effective if it was another team playing Luton Town, like Brit, you know, they're the visiting team. We do beg your pardon. We are in your garden. I think it's hilarious, but like approximately one person got that. But anyway, all of that to say that it's silly season. We're in a silly season episode, kind of. Excuse me. That it's so beautiful that that there's going to be a team in Premier League that that you have to walk through gardens to get into their stadium. I just think that's gorgeous. I'm going to be rooting for Luton Town every time. I felt this way, obviously, when Leeds went up with Bielsa. Oh my God, let's talk about that real quick. Okay, when Leeds went up with Bielsa, what a beautiful fucking moment that was. I wrote about it. I just had the episode about Bielsa when Bielsa, took the Uruguay job. No Bielsa, no Pardell, all that stuff. It was so beautiful. And can we talk about the metaphor that is Bielsa, a fucking true king, one of the greatest managers of all time, and a global South, proud global South fucking man of the people, bringing Leeds up. And then what happened, Leeds? What happened when you embraced the United Station identity? Huh? What happened when you got all, ooh, it's the Leeds United States or whatever the fuck everyone was saying, and they got U.S. player here, U.S. player there, U.S. coach, oh my God. And then U.S. people started to jump on the bandwagon. I cannot tell you how much I enjoyed that downfall and that lesson. You want success? You better fucking embrace your elders, the fucking kings of the sport. And then when you embrace the fucking empire, what happens? You go right back down. So bye to Leeds. I hope they continue to plummet down and even below second division, because what a fucking, again, chef's kiss arc of what happens when you embrace Argentina, what happens when you embrace the global South versus what happens when you take on this United States identity. You want United States, you want United Stations to go and colonize Premier League? There you have it. There you have it. It was so gorgeous. It was so gorgeous. So I just had to mention that, like, all those moments, I guess, Leeds, Brentford, and now Luton Town. I think Luton Town's my favorite one yet, aside from Leeds because of Bielsa. Because it's such a great underdog story. And I would be remiss if I didn't, before the end of this, just touch upon the Messi drama. Okay. I love that man so much. I want him to be happy. I'm happy he's leaving PSG. I think he should go to Barca, but there's lots of drama there. I think he should go back to Argentina, to be honest, but that won't happen for a while, if ever. Just fucking decide. I'm tired. Every single day. There's new speculation, new this, new that, and he's going there, he's going here. I don't want him going to a Saudi club. Now, I don't know if this is breaking news or if it's news at all, or if it is official or what, or where these people got their info, but the last I saw right before I hopped on here was a Uruguayan outlet reporting that like the Miami thing was a done deal. I don't want him in MLS. He does not deserve that punishment that would be playing in this fucking trash ass league. I get that it's money, that it's like trying to be like, okay, Messi to MLS. So I hope that wasn't true. I hope it's just a rumor. But I guess we'll have to keep our eye on the news to see what happens. Like, I'm tired of the drama. Just fucking decide already. And I know it's not him. And these are the things that he really hates to like get involved in, or like hates to like, he like hates all this shit. He just wants to play, right? But like, unfortunately, when you're Messi, you don't get your way because you're one of the most famous figures in the world, not only sports figures, but literally figures. And it comes with the territory. So, but like, hopefully by the time, you know, next time we record, we'll have an answer of where he's going. But like, just fucking decide already. I'm tired of the drama. And I just want to know. I'm glad he's leaving PSG. PSG never deserved him. But let's get on with it already. Like, this is that bullshit, right? This is that bullshit that we just like do not need. So on that note, I think that was a nice collection of topics. We got there in the end in terms of the tying thread. And we'll see you on the next one. Thank you so much for listening today. I hope you liked it. This has been Real Francamente, the podcast. My name is Franca. I'm your host. Be sure to follow us on Twitter and Instagram. It's at Real Francamente on both. Check out our website, www.realfrancamente.com. You can find lots of content or contact us directly with any questions or comments. You can contact us on socials too. Please do. All links and ads will be in the show notes if you need them or want them. And for ease of not having to spell it yourself, please subscribe on your favorite platform. Leave us a rating and a review if you like it only, and share with your friends. Don't forget to buy us your football content. Gracias y chao.